Yo, what's up? This is Trill OG Bun B, Reverend UGK for Life, co-founder of Trill Burgers, baby. Right here representing with Underground Dialogue Podcast. Educational purposes only, baby. Nothing to play with.
Underground dialogue, we gon' tell the truth. We ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are, do we bow? No, not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. Underground dialogue, we gon' tell the truth. We ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are, do we bow? No, not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. From the industry to the Oval Office, we expose the darkest motives of them all and disclose what the protocol is. Thinking and moving logical, stopping every maneuver possible, and apologizing for truth is not optional. We gon' help you with what you go through, reshape and mold you, and sweep over them weak lies they told you. If you living with no clue, we gon' deprogram the old you, and you get to keep your soul too.
What's going on, man? It's your big brother K-Rino.
And your boy Keisto.
Y'all tuned in once again to another episode of the Underground Dialogue Podcast, where the name speaks for itself, and the man that's sitting in the middle, his presence speaks for itself, man. This brother right here, I ain't gotta tell y'all, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Lyricist, pioneer of the Southern rap culture, entrepreneur, legend, college professor. The list goes on and on. Businessman, one of the greatest rappers to ever do it, man. You know, man, the Trill OG, the one and only, Mr. Bun B. How you doing?
I'm blessed, man. I think I'm gonna have to go and change my Instagram bio.
Yeah, man.
Put a whole lot of titles on the table for you, boy.
Well, you probably done forgot a lot of the things that you've done. You got a bunch of notches on your belt, fam. You know, how you been, brother?
I'm blessed, man. I really can't complain, man. I'm here looking at 2024. This is actually year 33 for me. You know. Like really actually moving as a professional artist through this industry, through this culture. And just the idea that songs I made 30 years ago, people still actually show up. People actually spend money and show up to hear me still do these records. And not only that, they listen to all the music between then and now and all points in between, man. And I still feel like I'm operating at a high level as well.
Yeah. But you know, why wouldn't they? They still come to see Frankie Beverly May? They still come to see the Others, bro. They still see.
But I've never regarded myself in that way. I guess it's too close to me.
Yeah.
Like you're not finna hear me walk around patting myself on the back in front of people and shit. About who I am and what I done done. I really be looking a lot more forward. I feel like a lot of what I've done in the past pretty much speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So I don't have to beat on my chest, at 50 years old talking about how good I can rap. If you don't recognize my talent, then it just ain't for you.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to convince you otherwise. There's more than enough people that appreciate what's done.
That's the people's job, though. That's humility. Of course you ain't one right, but that's our job to reaffirm over and over again. Boy, you bad boy. Catch you at the gas station, catch you where they see you. That's our job to do that, and that's why we do it.
And it's different for me, I guess, being from the generation that I was from, right?
Yeah.
Like, the goal was obviously to get paid for your work, but, when I started rhyming in like 87, 88, nobody was rich.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The most you could ask was the respect of your peers, and when I come in the game, I'm looking at you and Brad. Right, like that's the level I'm trying to get to. That's that's the kind of penmanship I want to have one day. Wow. The problem is, you two niggas get better with time. So I'm still behind the 8 ball. You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't disagree more. Go ahead.
Yeah, because one thing about your music, it always feed the people. It's not like bubblegum rap where it's here. It's just like, my name's K and I'm here to say, you really said something really into the music that gives people throughout their life. Like 3 in the morning, we used that through our whole high school.
I mean, look, we came from the era where the music it wasn't just about entertainment. Like, you wanted to make something that people could dance to, but it wasn't just that. Like, it was never, no artist, I don't believe, was just that. Even if you look like a Kid and Play, who are most known for their dancing or whatever, they wasn't just about that. You know, people like Fresh Prince and them, who made very lighthearted music, they wasn't just about that. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, you know, at the time, you know, there was a standard of Houston rappers. There was the nature was aggressive. For one, let's be very real about that. This was a very aggressive area. It was not a lot of friendliness going on out there. You know what I'm saying? You had to be not just a man about the music, you had to be a man. You know what I'm saying? To move around in H-Town, you know. And there was a standard that people wanted you to hold yourself to. It wasn't really about being frivolous. Houston didn't want, because Houston was in the midst of actually trying to prove itself to the world, you know. So all that just coming in to hang around and be doing a little something, you got to get out the way. This ain't the time for that. Now the gates are open, you know what I'm saying, and everybody can come in and do with it as they feel, and that's cool. But people have to understand that it took people moving a certain way for this thing to even get off the ground. And that's the era that I came from, so I still moved that way. You know what I'm saying? Now, luckily, I had a partner that understood that there had to be a bit of both. You know what I'm saying? We can make music about getting money and riding nice cars and dressing good and having nice looking women around us, and that's cool, but we know that ain't every day for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So let's be real about this music. Let's be real about these boys in the streets and what it's like after you get the money and after you get the car, you know, but you still doing things a certain way that, you know, you might not be proud of. You know, many of us was raised in the church. So we know the word. We understand the repercussions and are moving a certain way. So yeah, we can smile through it in front of people, but everybody, when they get home and get undressed and lay in their bed, they have a talk with themselves. You know, and then they talk, some of us talking to a higher power. We like, you know, I mean, how far does this go? How much of this can I get away with? You know, and so, you know, Rap A Lot would always, I remember Jay Prince used to always say, we're going to have at least one song that talk about something about God's law, whether it was explicitly about religion or just about how you move according to God's plan. And so that was something that was always big on us. That's how you get certain records from us, like High Life. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to show, boys, if this is the life you want to live, well, here's the physical obstacles, right? These are the physical obstacles, but then here's also spiritual obstacles too, you know what I'm saying? So, and we making music for the South, and most of the people we know in the South raised in church, so it resonated deeply in the South. It took a little while for other people to really get it until those certain records went further, and so then they go back and do the research. But you know how that goes.
Man, think about. I was going to ask you this because just following y'all career, I know you can speak about the way y'all came up, because I remember y'all had it rough when y'all first coming through, and y'all really went through a lot to get to where y'all was at right here, from Big Boy to everything else. Can you speak about that a little bit? Yeah,
I mean, look, like I said, I'm from a different era, right? So when I first started going out on the road, this would have been in '92. You know, there was, I mean, first of all, you wasn't doing House of Blues, none of that type of stuff. You know, my first concert was in a VFW hall, like after the bingo game. You know what I'm saying? We got paid $150 to spread between all three of us.
Man, y'all got paid.
And we were happy. And I'm talking about, we was happy to make that little money. You know what I'm saying? Because it proved that somebody preached. I met about 15, 16 people in that little VFW hall. But somebody came and somebody wanted to hear the music, and they paid to hear the music. And eventually we just kept doing more and more of it, believing in ourselves. And, you know, we were very, very blessed to come right behind the Ghetto Boys Mind Playing Tricks on me. You know what I'm saying? So that came in '91, and we come in '92. So they blazing the trail all throughout America. So they bringing Texas music, not just to the normal places we would normally target, like the Louisianas and the Mississippis and Alabamas and places like that. They going to Chicago, Detroit, Los Angeles, and Seattle, and all these kind of places. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I aspire to go. That's what I want to do. So, but we taking it a little slower. We ain't got the big national record yet. We ain't got the big funding behind us. So we just trying to go everywhere we can get into. But if we go to a radio station and we see that Ghetto Boys 8x10 glass on the wall, or we see that 8-ball of them JG 8x10 on the wall, all right, we in the right place. Yeah. We in the right. That's how we would know. They
laid a path.
Yes, man. And they would leave breadcrumbs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what them pictures was, and them signed posters in record stores and one side. That's breadcrumbs. Okay, you done made it this far. Keep going. Keep going. You're on the right path.
You know what? You made me think. You part of a wave, the early wave of artists that were on that independent label, part of the independent label revolution that I feel like started right here, and just being on big time, and then of course you advanced past that as time went on, man. We came from an era where we did try to shop our demos. That's what you're talking about. You from a different era, but we was not accepted. So that revolution to me came out of necessity, the fact that they ain't rocking with us. So we created something out of nothing. When Tell Me Something Good came out, say, man, it was like, of course, Ghetto Boys came first, but y'all probably were the second ones to just be getting that radio play like that, just in the city locally, and then started to spread out, man. How fast did that sweep y'all up? You know, just coming from the hood and not having nothing to all of a sudden, boom.
All right, so here's the long story. We got time. We can flesh these stories out. And some people may remember this, some may not. They used to have a contest in Houston on the radio called Houston Home Jams.
Okay.
And what they would do is for 2 weeks, Monday through Friday, every day they play a different song from a local artist. And at the end of the 2 weeks, whoever got the most people to call up and say they liked the record, they would get their record pressed up by, was it RPM? God, I can't think of his name right now. It was a record company. Yeah, it was. It wasn't Steve Fournier and them. It was. Man, I can't think of it. But they had a contest, and if you won this, it was an RPM or BPM Studios. But you won the right to go record at the studio. That show you how old I am. I don't remember this stuff no more. You would record at the studio, and they would put your record on the radio. You know what I'm saying? So we got in the contest. We got in on the last day. And we got more calls for Tim when we presented Tell Me Something Good. We got more calls than anybody else all the other days put together.
Wow.
And so we won the contest, but we had to forfeit because it was people that was unsigned only. And we was already with big time.
Gotcha.
So we ended up forfeiting because we didn't need to have a record press, right? We didn't need the studio time. It was already done. But they kept getting so many calls for the record that they actually, it was the first time, one of the few times this has ever really happened because it's really against protocol. You're not allowed to play a record on the radio that's not available for people to buy.
Gotcha.
Right? That's the big thing about getting placed on the radio. But for like 4 days, they had to play Tell Me Something Good until the record came out the next week because people was calling for it every day. And man, it was just, it started happening so fast. Like I say, the first couple of shows was 150, but then as different DJs started getting the record to different DJs. Now we in Lake Charles, we doing shows, we making a little bit more money. Then, you know, we eventually get that call to go to Strawberries. And in 92, 93, that's how you knew you made it in the South. You know what I'm saying? They used to have this club called Strawberries on the outside of Lafayette in a very, very small town. You basically was in the woods. You had to go down this very dark road with no lights on it and turn into a field. And it was a club in the middle of the field. And the club wouldn't open until about 2 in the morning.
Yeah, I've been there.
You know what I'm saying? So you would literally go to Lafayette, go to all the other clubs or whatever and hang out. And after every club closed, everybody go to Strawberries. And so once you got to do a show at Strawberries, you really felt, okay, now we really doing something. You know what I'm saying? And just, you know, trying to really, you know, we wasn't making no bunch of money, so we wasn't really feeling ourselves in that way. But, you know, for us, it was just about being seen and heard in those spaces where other people, that we looked up to was being respected at. So and when we go to another city, to another club, and again, you know, you go to Strawberries, you see that picture in the back room, you see the black and white, yeah, nigga, it's our time.
Open the door for it,
you know. But it also, man, it taught us that we needed to learn a lot about the business, you know, because we really just came in assuming that the people that brought us in was going to take care of it, but they didn't know nothing either. A lot of money started coming in very quick. And money corrupts, power corrupts, man. That's really all I can say. So luckily we learned enough about the game to where when we had to separate ourselves, we were educated enough to figure out exactly how to make money, you know what I'm saying, outside of the system. But once we signed that major record deal, then that became a whole other thing to navigate.
We're going to get into all that. I was thinking about something that I talk about all the time, because throughout history, we've seen in hip hop a bunch of great duos that have come through the game. And, you know, all the way you can start at Run and DMC. You can go all the way to Big Boy and Andre. And I always put you and Pimp in that same frame in terms of two artists being in a group together that demonstrate that beautiful contrast.
Yeah.
Two different types. I always talk, because it's like, I don't think, and I say this all the time, that two cats that sound just alike in a group, that's just not sustainable to me. You know what I'm saying? So how did you and Pimp even come together to be in a group? And because y'all are so different, Pimp is that unapologetically country slang, just Pimp C.
Yeah.
But you, on the other hand, just a lyrical tactician. Just a lyricist extraordinaire. How did that even come together? Because it seemed like y'all would be solo.
We were definitely polar opposites, right? And because of that, we didn't initially even like each other's people. He thought he had an idea of who I was. I thought I had an idea of who he was. We had a mutual friend, Mitchell Queen, who was one of the original members of UGK. And he was the one that kind of put us together. And was like, yeah, because, you know, we were some of the few people in Port Arthur that were really taking this very seriously. And so and I was one of the newer people trying to come into the space. And Mitch was like, man, I'm telling you, he can rap, whatever. And Pimp wasn't trying to hear it. So we both thought both of us was lying about what we did and who we knew. And so we finally met up with each other. And he was like, yeah, you be saying, you be doing this and doing that. And I was like, yeah, he brought a picture from the other day. And like, oh, damn. And I'm like, yeah, you be talking about you got all this equipment. He's like, you come to the house. I show you, I got the machines and shit like that. And, you know, we were part of a collective of people, right, who all initially had this dream of really like chasing, you know, chasing after recognition in this culture. And it eventually got to a point where everybody else, you know, for some reason or another decided to put their time and attention and focus into something different. But at that point, me and Pimp was like, I don't want to do nothing else but this. This is really all I want to do. And it was that common love of the game and the culture, but also wanting to go as far as we could. And for me, I had other things that I wanted to do, but it was nothing I wanted to be a part of more than hip hop. But the thing with Pimp was Pimp didn't want to do anything else. It was this or nothing for him. He literally painted himself in the corner to where this music shit don't pay off. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And so, regardless of everything that we went through, me and him was always on the same page about what we trying to do. We had a lot of ups and a lot of downs. There were times where he didn't want to do the shit no more, and I'd have to keep him encouraged. There were times when I didn't want to do the shit no more, and he'd have to keep me encouraged about it. But we were locked in on the idea, man, we know we good. You know what I'm saying? We better than a lot of these niggas. And if they just allow us to be seen and heard the way that we want to be seen and heard, this should all make sense and everybody will make some money. You know what I'm saying? And it took us 3 albums to get there because we went back and forth with a lot over Too Hard to Swallow. So we argued with them and went sat down for 2 years and they wouldn't take no calls. And then we come back with Super Tight. And get a little bit further, but they still pushing back against it. And then like when it came to Riding Dirty, we was like, look, we don't want no advance money.
Yeah.
We don't want nothing. We want just send us some equipment, you know what I'm saying, and leave us alone.
Yeah.
And we'll bring you the album. We don't want no money up front. We just want creative control. Just put out the album we give you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what it took for them to allow us to be seen and heard, was to say we didn't want no money.
Yeah.
But we believed in ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we put everything into that album, man, and it came back literally a hip hop classic.
Right.
Man, y'all didn't even shoot a video for it, did you?
No, there was no video because we was arguing with him again.
Yeah.
Here's the crazy thing about this. We had done the album. The album was done, the album was turned in. We watching Rap City on TV. And it go to a commercial. And it's a Cadillac, like a Cadillac limousine driving through the desert real fast, real fast in the desert. I'm like, damn, what is this? And it's a chick standing in the middle of the desert, out of nowhere. And the limousine pull up to the chick, and the chick got my album on a silver platter. She stick it to the car, a hand, get out, grab the album and put it in the limo and take off. And that's the commercial for my album that I never saw in my life. I ain't in the commercial, Pimp ain't in the commercial. We ain't nowhere near no goddamn desert. Now, to be fair, great idea. I love the concept, but y'all could have called and told that nigga something. Because everybody started calling us like, man, I just seen y'all commercial. When y'all did that? We ain't did shit. You don't know what it was. So we started arguing with him again, and that's why literally there's no music videos, because we couldn't even agree on what the vision would be for the album. So we just said, fuck it, let the music speak for itself.
And this was just with Jive, right?
Yeah, all this shit.
This before you start buying what's those vacant lots.
But we were blessed, man, because we actually the album did what it was supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And it actually, they still found some ways to manipulate certain things, but once they got out the way of the music, everything started making sense, and that's when it really popped.
Yeah. Okay. Man, why do you think that? Because I know a lot back in the days, a lot of artists that came from this region, they ended up signing with majors, but I always felt like the majors signed a lot of our artists, but they still didn't trust.
It was one of the worst mistakes we made.
But why sign us if y'all don't even trust the process or trust the talent to maximize it?
Because it don't allow their employees to put their hands on it.
Okay.
That's the problem. If they sign you and your A&R can't do their job, and your promotions people can't, they A&R can't do a job, because you already know who you getting beats from and who you gonna put on there.
Right.
When they promotions people can't do their job, because you already talk to people at one stops and record stores and wholesalers, right? When their radio department can't do their job, because you done already been to 102, 97.9, K104 in Dallas. You done already built those relationships with people. So really, the record company really don't have nothing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And which would leave all the credit to y'all. And they're not finna do that. So now they gotta put an A&R. They gotta put somebody on a plane and send them down. They had somebody come and sit in our house, you know what I'm saying, for 3 months. He couldn't make us do nothing. He was just sitting there. Right? It was he didn't understand the culture enough to recommend a producer, to recommend a feature. Right? He didn't have a real frame of reference for what we were doing. So that. I think that's a big part of it. And then too, the people that work in these record companies are from there. I just got into it with somebody on another podcast about them trying to tell me that it was harder for a New York artist to get a deal than for a Southern artist to get a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I don't even know who these people are. Y'all, some of these people grew up in y'all neighborhood and went to school with y'all. I say, and they, when a New York, if a New York person gets a demo, one of them from New York and one of them from the South, it don't matter if the Southern artist has more momentum, has more eyes on them, is moving more units independently. None of that really matters, because they don't know how to speak to it. They don't know how to contribute to it. They can't really get their hands on it, and then at the end of the day, they can't take no credit for it. So it don't really help their resume. You know what I'm saying? So it's better for them, even if they from Queens and they got to sign somebody from Harlem. At least I know a couple of niggas from Harlem. I know how Harlem niggas get down. Wham. I know how to navigate. Well, they're from 145th. Okay, so they probably moved with these niggas and that. You get a better understanding of somebody that live, you know, in New York. It would be 2 towns over, right? Necessarily. We may not look at it later, but that's how it would be. You from Brooklyn, Queens is maybe 2 towns over. You know what I'm saying? than from somebody that's 9 states away from you.
Yeah.
They don't understand the lingo.
It's a whole different world.
They don't understand none of that stuff.
Yeah.
So they at a loss. So for us, if we didn't figure out how to build these relationships, it wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know who to call. They didn't know what sound waves was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't know what none of these things were down here. So we had to make those relationships for ourselves. But that ended up working into our benefit later, right? Like, for example, I remember Tony Draper. When they first started, like I knew Tony, for years. And, he used to work at a record store, manage a record store on the Southwest side. And so Tony was watching everything we was doing.
Right.
Tony realized that we signed our deal too fast. We didn't give ourselves enough time to grow, enough time for the music to spread on its own. I was working in King's Flea Market. Big Russ, rest in peace to Big Russ. Listen, man, he was a good dude. Owe him everything.
Yeah.
Big Russ had the record store in King's Flea Market. So that was the phone number at the record store, was the phone number for the record company.
Right.
So 1 week, man, that probably like maybe 2-3 weeks after the EP came out and everything was selling, Warlock Records was the first one to call. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we want to sign y'all. Right. And then I can't remember the name, but it was a label with Mix-a-Lot in them in the East Coast.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, up on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I'm trying
I can't remember either.
And then all these different little independents. What was the record? EP and Demon was on that label called. All these different little independents, all the way up, right? All the way up to the big dogs. And then that was like on Friday, and then Saturday nobody called.
Right.
Like no record company called.
Right.
And then Sunday, no record company called.
Okay.
And we start thinking, man, we might have fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, we might have tried to overplay this.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody calling now. The word must have got out.
Right.
So we was like, fuck it, man. Whoever call next, we just gonna try to sign.
Yeah.
And then Monday morning, Jive Records was the first one to call. And
They were closed on the weekend.
that's what I didn't understand. Them niggas was closed on the weekend, man. It wasn't even open, OG.
Yeah.
I should have called you, man. I should have called you. Because it wasn't even open on the weekend, man.
Yeah.
But everything kind of happens.
Barry
You know, we learned a lot. Barry Weiss called us and got us on the line. And they made it seem real good, And of course, as a youngster, you get that 40-page contract. And they got them yellow tabs on page 14, page 27, page 39. And that's the one where the money is allocated.
Yeah, right.
Like, sign here, this is going to be your video budget. Oh, hell yeah. Sign right here, this your marketing budget. Okay. Right? Sign right here, this your advance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I only saw 3 pages of a 44-page contract.
Right.
I was bound to get fucked.
Right. Without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying? These are the things that, but when you young in the game, and this is crazy, that's why these kind of podcasts are so important. Because in the business world, in their mind, it's a sucker born every minute.
Yeah.
The reality is that somebody right now is falling in love as we speak with hip hop. They falling in love with it right now. They don't know nothing about the business of it. They don't know nothing about what it takes. They just want to be a part of it. And they sitting in the bedroom with a pen and a paper or with some kind of little garage band on their laptop or something, trying to make some beats and download some sounds and all of this stuff. And all they want to do is be a part of it. And it's a whole society. I wouldn't say society, but it's a whole, like, people, and everything that you need to do to be successful.
Right.
Everything that you need to do to be successful is somebody sitting there waiting to scam you out of it because they know you blind and you don't know and you just want to be a part of it. Trying to get records on the radio, people tell you they're a radio promoter. They get your record on the radio, give me $30,000. They'll get your record in the mix show. And they gonna cut it off before the hook plays.
Something you could have did for yourself.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But and you're not gonna be nowhere. You're just gonna have less money. I turn down features with certain artists, not because I don't believe in the talent. I don't think the money you're trying to spend with me is what you should be doing with your money right now. Because if I take this from you for this feature, you ain't got no money left to do what you need to do with the feature. You know what I'm saying? It's better you invest in yourself and build yourself up right now in this time. We can shoot some video. I can tell people go check you out and all like that. But buying a verse from me not gonna help you. You know what I'm saying? And I would sleep good at night, to be honest. I could make some money. I don't need to take advantage of youngsters trying to come in the game thinking the OG going, I don't need money that bad. You know what I'm saying? It's best for me to educate more people and get more good people in the game so that the culture benefits. Because if you keep burning people, then that's who the new artists are. People that don't respect, don't want to go back, show love and nothing, because all they know is bad things happening when they tried to reach out to the OGs.
What do you say when people say like those bad contracts are that's just the standard contract?
No, man. These things all come from a lack of education. You know, when you're an NFL player, you're an NBA player or baseball player, all of that, this is the same thing. You got to try to find the right agent that can get you the right deal and put you with the best team. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you have somebody that's willing to educate themselves and inform themselves and deeply engross themselves in the industry, then yeah, you can have a LeBron and you can take a Rich Paul who's smart enough, right? That's the first thing. I can't just want you to play that position. You got to be smart enough to play that position. You got to be understanding enough to know I need to read this book. I need to read this magazine. I need to try to watch these podcasts. You know what I'm saying? You somebody that's willing to be like this. All I'm finna do is figure out how this works so we can get you the most. Right? It's not just about giving somebody a job and giving somebody some money. You know what I'm saying? Because all you're gonna do is end up resenting each other later. Because neither one of you knew enough to do what y'all needed to do together.
No question about it.
You know what I'm saying? So I really want more young people to understand business and contracts before, because the music is the easy part. You know,
going with the talent.
Yeah, the music is the easy part.
That's
but understanding the business side of it, understanding how to take full advantage of the opportunities in front of you, right? And the only way to really do that is to do it by yourself first. Do it independently first. Get out there, trial and error. Learn the game, learn the steps, and make your mistakes when it's only $500 involved, $1,000 involved. Don't make those mistakes when it's hundreds of thousands of dollars involved.
$1 million mistake.
Once you here's the thing, financial education, you don't get that with money. You don't get financial education when you get money. You get money when you get financial education.
Come on, man.
That's how that works.
That's the message, right?
And the money man told me that. This ain't wisdom. The money man told me that.
It's wisdom.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're wise enough to take it and pass it on.
I thought I was doing something, man. I really thought I was doing it out here. And the man was like, well, you know, you are making, you know, good advances out here like that. But, you know, if you would have understood this earlier, you could have been here by now. So my thing is, I'm not trying to keep it for me. I want to put something in somebody's hands that will appreciate it. Right? That you put this person in power, this person will employ the right kind of people. He will help give people jobs. He'll take some of the homies off the street. You know? And when they blow up, they're going to come back and let people know you put them on. That's how you're supposed to do it. So I turn down more features than I do. Because everybody, if you're going to come in the game, and I know you're not moving right, I'm not going to say whether or not you belong, but you're not going to come in on my name and my reputation. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Some things is meant for people whether I'm involved or not. You know what I'm saying? But I got a reputation of how I move in the world, and the people I associate with represent my reputation. So every nigga I give a verse, I in effect give him a cosign. And I can't be cosigning everybody because I don't know what a lot of these niggas gonna do with that cosign when they get in the game.
Bun was with it when he wait a minute. I just went to the studio, dropped CC, and I left.
What did you see in Jeezy when you gave him that cosign?
Now here's the funny thing. Jeezy came around twice. Jeezy was initially in a group of demos that I was given when I first became. So Face became the president of Def Jam South. Face hired me as an A&R for Def Jam South. And so there were artists that he had already signed, and then there were artists they were looking at. So they gave me a bunch of demos, and Jeezy was actually one of those demos. But this was before, you know, he was who he is now. Like, this was the very first image of him, and it just didn't. I was just like, well, this ain't ready. And he'll tell you himself that back then he was not ready. You know what I'm saying? But then maybe a year and a half, 2 years later, he came back to me through a good friend of mine, my partner D Money from Decatur. D Money like, hey, I got this young nigga I'm working with. You know, I think he can do something. You know what I'm saying? So that's when we did the song We Getting Money. And at the time, he was associated with Big Meech, and so they brought me into that situation. We all was making, and they was really trying to do music. So, you know, I'm really trying to show them the way to kind of transition from one thing to another, you know. And Jeezy got it, Meech got it, but they just didn't have enough time Meech didn't have enough time to make it work. By that time, the people was already on it. You know what I'm saying? But man, his intentions was genuine. Like, you know, I had, you know, at the thing I said we got to give it up to the money man, right?
Yeah, right.
At the panel, the 50 years of Houston hip hop panel, I talked about that. Meech was the guy. Meech was like all the rappers I know. Their record deal is if they lucky, they get 15 points. And the record company get 85 points. The record company already got a bunch of money. And they taking more money. He say, I don't need money. So I'm going to take 15%. 15% ought to recoup all the money I spend. He's saying then the artists get to 85%. I don't need no rap money. We get money. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see people win. I couldn't knock that. I couldn't knock that. I want to support that as long as that would go. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I say all of that to say that, you know, sometimes, you know, things come around. And look, if I had signed him to Def Jam South, it might have put him on a whole different trajectory. It might not have even put him in position to take advantage of things the way he did, because where he was, the first demo for him was what he thought people might have wanted to hear from him rap. But he actually, that's when he was a little bit more high pitch, trying to fit. You know, all of us try to, you know, a lot of us, I ain't gonna say all of us, but a lot of us try to come in thinking that we have to sound a certain way, present ourselves a certain way, rap a certain style to a certain type of music for people to be into us, because we in little old Houston, Texas, thinking that New York is the whole world. And if New York don't like it, the world ain't gonna like it. You know, and it took the Ghetto Boys, you know, to really show that you can be as Southern as possible, right? As Southern as you can possibly be, and if you make good music, people gonna appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, So when he came back, he was a lot more confident. Jeezy, I'm saying, it was a lot more confident in being comfortable with who he was, what he was actually out in the street doing, and it felt more natural. You know what I'm saying? It really felt more natural. It's actually a more honest representation of himself. And when you're doing an honest representation of yourself, you don't have to put on a costume. That's a fact. You don't have to put on a uniform. You don't have to put on a mask and a wig. You can just wake up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And that's very confident.
I like that.
I think artists all go through a period where they got to find themselves.
Oh, of course.
You got to just grow into who you are. So in the beginning, you kind of all over the place. Then in that little 2-year period you're speaking about, whatever happened in them 2 years, I know who I am.
And it's usually a push. It's usually a pushback. Typically, those 2 years, like whatever it was he was doing, it was pushback against it. It wasn't working. It wasn't working, and it actually not only was it not working, people that knew him probably didn't like it. Cause I could listen to the first things I did in high school. If I try to play that for somebody right now, people buzz out laughing. You know what I'm saying? But that was a 2-year transition to where we got by the time we got to Tell Me Something Good. And then there's a 2-year transition from that to Super Tight. And then there's another 2 years from Super Tight to Ride Dirty. Right? And then that for me was when I really was like, I want to be the best rapper. Not the best Southern rapper, not the best Texas rapper.
Come on,
I want to be the best rapper.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? And I tell people, I had to tell this.
I don't even like when people say that, man. You Texas now, man.
No, I don't want to be the best.
Fool with everybody.
And I tell people all the time, I say at some point, you got to humanize your hero. I say at some point, I told this to Killer Leon. I say, look, I have the utmost respect for Face. I say, and I don't know if I'll ever catch up to Face. But one day I had to wake up and be like, Face a man like me. If he can get to rapping that good, I can too. I just got to figure out how to get there. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you got to humanize your heroes and realize we all human beings. You just got to figure out what it is that's going to push you.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? That's going to get you to where. And it's not about watching nobody money and watching nobody pockets and counting their dollars and nothing. It's about what you think, how much of themselves you think they giving to this. You know what I'm saying? I could be doing more. I should be doing more. I could be giving more of myself. I should be digging deeper inside of myself. You know what I'm saying? To get to something that basically puts everybody on an extremely human level. You know what I'm saying? It ain't really about. People think that it's about people following you or wanting to be like you. It's about people wanting to deal with life like you. That to me is what separates me from a lot of other artists. It's not about how much money I made or how famous I got. It's about that when tough things happen, I reacted tough.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? And I fought the hard fight, and I knew it wasn't easy, and I wasn't sure if I was going to win, but I did what I could.
Yeah.
I gave it the best I could, and it all ended up working out. That's the example I want to set. Not that I made this money, and I drive this car, and I got these chains, because everybody ain't going to get that.
Come on.
Everybody ain't going to get that. But there's a lot of people that get that ain't happy, that ain't fulfilled.
Right.
You know, I know a lot of people in a big house, man, and the house is empty.
Yeah.
They ain't got no woman in there cooking them no meals unless they call the chef.
Yeah.
They ain't got no kids running around saying, "Daddy, come play with me." None of that.
Yeah.
Man, all that money and stuff, man, it's really unfulfilling.
Yeah.
And it's worse than that is if you do want that and you pick the wrong people based on the rooms you go. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes pick women because they see other dudes with these women.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? They want to know what the other dude had to do to get them,
Come on,
and
man.
all of that, man. And look, these women will never be your woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These women will never be your women because that's not what they want.
Right.
You trying to give these women something that they're not really asking you for.
Yeah.
They're here for a good time, not a long time.
Right. Come on, man.
Man,
You know,
brothers dropping jewels in here.
Come on, man.
Every good dude get to a certain point where he realize I should have fucking been with
Yeah.
Keisha.
Yeah.
I should have just been with Keisha.
High school.
You know what I'm saying?
Look, that's white man.
You know what I'm saying? That's just be real.
You married Keisha.
I should have just been with Keisha. Keisha might not have been as fine as every woman. She might not have been the prettiest woman in the world, but she wanted the best for me.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, when you deal with a job like this and this culture like this, and how you got to maneuver,
How would it trust?
you need somebody in your house that you can trust.
Yeah.
Facts.
Not somebody that look good. If I make enough money, we gonna all look good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We make enough money. If you want to get rid of that belly, we'll get rid of that belly.
Hey,
You know, if you want to re-get your top done, we'll get it. Whatever we got to do
On
to
that
get to where we need.
foundation.
And then we got those options.
Yeah.
Right? You may not even want that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You may not even want that.
Right. Yeah.
But you want to have options in life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody asked me one day, like, how much money you trying to make out here? Like, what are you? I said, I want enough.
Yeah.
I want enough money.
Yeah.
So that if my family needs to do something, we got the option to do it.
Right.
I don't want to hit a finite number.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it may be a situation that takes more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just want to have enough money to do what my family needs done.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, for everybody, that ain't millions of dollars.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
You know, that ain't millions. I need to be able to take my family to Disney World twice a year.
Yeah.
Take my wife to a nice dinner,
Yeah.
a nice little vacation for our anniversary or something like that. A lot of people don't ask a lot.
Yeah.
Some people ask him more than they built for.
Yeah.
Some people ask him more out of life than you really built to go out and get.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
keep it simple.
And the thing with when you said about humanizing your heroes, man, I think that's the only way for you to really achieve real greatness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what came to my mind when you were saying that, I'm thinking about Kobe and Jordan.
Yeah.
Kobe idolized, looked up to Jordan like that, but when he got in that court with Mike, I'm trying to go at this dude to see where I'm at number one and where I need to be number two. And when I start closing that gap between myself and Jordan, okay, he gonna respect me, the world gonna respect me. Well, that boy coming.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can't be great if you always looking at the greats and you just
Look,
Look, here's the thing, right? There is, you can go and see, right, how many verses I've done, how many features I've done, how many albums I've recorded, right? And so there's a number.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's a number, so there's something to achieve.
Right.
Mike had a number as far as MVPs. He had a number as far as championships, scoring title, defensive player of the year, offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
There were numbers there. How much time Mike spent in the gym.
That's it.
There were numbers there. So that's what Kobe started.
Yeah.
Right? We gotta go. Mike practice 5 hours a day. I gotta practice 6.
Yep.
If Mike shoots 700 shots a day, I gotta shoot 9.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And let's see if that works.
Right.
Right? And if that don't work, that just means that man is just better than me. But let's see if it's a work harder than me.
Come on, man.
Because if it's a work harder than me, we can get that.
Yeah.
That's attainable.
I can control that.
That's attainable.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about it earlier, some people are just naturally talented to do certain things. Right? That's cool. But even within that, there's restrictions. And there's things that you got to do beyond just having the talent to really make it all makes sense.
Right.
And that's the work you put in.
Right.
So if Mike is this height and I'm this height, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And Mike got 24 hours in the day, and I got 24 hours in the day. You know what I'm saying? Well, what does Mike do with his 24?
Right.
And let me see if I can create a life that allows me to do more than that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you start there.
Absolutely.
You start there. And in order to achieve that and chase that, you got to change how you eat.
Yeah.
You got to change how you sleep. You got to change how you live in terms of who you're around. Here's the crazy thing. When they call me and say, B, do you want to do the rodeo?
I was just about to ask you that.
I change everything about my life.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I don't go to certain places.
Right.
I don't do certain things, right? Because I can't afford to not be there on that day.
Right.
So if this is where we trying to get to and this is what we trying to achieve, we gonna change up the whole program.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I got enough focus for that. I got enough focus for that. That's it. Hey, man, so and so them, man, they they got a big Super Bowl party coming on. Man, I can't be in them parties, man. At 2 o'clock in the morning, no sir. No, too much happening I can't control.
Right.
That's wisdom.
You know what I'm saying? Now after we get the work done, we can go party all you want to. Once we get that bag, we can go do whatever it is you want to do, and we can do it in a room that we control.
Right. There you go.
You know what I'm saying? You can't keep chasing everybody's lifestyle. Now you can go and stick your head and see if it's some of that. I sure like that. I like that. I like that ice statue with that fruit. I like that. I like how that bar set up. Don't like all these hoes in there. So way more women in here than men. For most people, that's a good thing. That just seemed like somebody. When you go on a party and there's more women than it is men, there are men bringing women to your party to talk to you.
I'll tell you that again.
Just so you know. I'm not saying there's not some good women in there, but they're gonna be few and far between. You got to know where you can't find a wife in a room full of hoes. So you got you once you realize what you want out of life, man, you got to reprioritize everything.
When did this wise girl come?
From fucking up. From fucking up and being blessed enough to get a second chance to do a lot of this shit. I'm not smarter than nobody else. It's not that I have all this innate wisdom. I've done a lot of shit wrong in my life, and God gave me second chances to try again. And that's how I know I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? I did shit that everybody else did, that this friend is in jail for, that this friend is in prison for, and this friend is in the graveyard for. I made a bunch of bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? But God was like, not you, not yet. You know what I'm saying? Not him, not now. Kind of a thing. And I don't turn a blind eye to that shit. I look at my life all the time, and it's even to the point where you damn near get survivor's remorse. Because it's like, man, I fucked up just like everybody else. I fucked up just like everybody else, but I'm the one that won. You know what I'm saying? So I know when you know, damn near you don't even sometimes deserve where you at. You got to give. You got to sow. Now I got to sow.
You know.
Now I got to sow. Cause somebody somewhere did something. Call somebody, push the button, and when I'm supposed to go down, is bring him up. Bring him up.
You know, and why me works in 2 ways. Why me works in the way where something bad happens, and why this have to happen to me, this bad thing. But why me also works when, like you said, you've been through and done so many things that you could have been where that person ended up, and you saying, why me? Why did I have to be the one? Why was I the one that got the blessing? Why was I the one to make? Why me works both ways.
We all was in the car. We all ran from the law. We all jumped out. Right? We all ran our own way. He got caught. I did.
Why me?
You know what I'm saying?
We all chose to go that way.
So I mean, when you just really have to thank God. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you remember that you made it. Everybody else ain't make it. You know what I'm saying?
That's why you give back.
That was
profound. Let me ask you this: where did that rodeo and livestock show relationship just come about?
It was very random. So I've been, and not to get too deep into it, because I'm sure I had good friends named Jason Kane, and Jason Kane is one of the people that booked for the rodeo. And Jason really wanted the rodeo to become more diverse, right? Because the attendance for the rodeo is extremely diverse. You get every color, every religion, every culture that exists in Houston in some form or fashion shows up at that rodeo. We put on the hats, we eat the food, we enjoy the shows. But there had been a culture of there being a lot of things from the rodeo that didn't reflect who came to the rodeo.
Yeah.
So they got to a point where they were like, if we don't make a conscious decision so that the people on stage reflect the people in the crowd, we're gonna keep losing people.
Yeah.
And so, Black Heritage Day comes in, was it Mexican Appreciation Night or Latino Appreciation Night? All those things come in and they see people becoming more embracing. And not only do Black people come on Black Heritage Day, we come on other nights too. You know what I'm saying? Latinas come on other nights too. Now they start seeing Asian people come a lot. Let's do K-pop. We see younger people coming. Let's do EDM, right? They're starting to reflect these things. So when they bring it to, and I'm there, I'm watching him, do these different things. And every now and then he'd be like, hey, we're thinking about this person. What do you think? I don't know if that's right for the rodeo. I don't think, not to knock them, they're great artists, but when they get on that stage, you won't be able to control certain things. And that's a big thing for them. You know what I'm saying? If they pick the wrong person, nobody else gets to do it again.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So the big thing for them was Cardi B. They wanted to do Cardi B. But they knew Cardi B's music was very flagrant. And that's the one thing you cannot do with the rodeo, you can't really curse. Like that's a big thing. Because that's part of that whole cowboy, howdy ma'am, howdy sir, being very polite and that kind of stuff. They just don't want nobody. And look, if you get away with a damn or a shit here and there, it might not be such a big deal. But when they book a rapper, they don't want somebody grabbing their dick. What the fuck is up, Houston? They don't want that. Right, and that's few and far between. Right, when you look at the entire culture, the people that's few and far between. But they don't have an understanding of the culture. And but when Cardi B came, Cardi B did big numbers. Still the highest attended hip hop concert in Texas history.
Wow.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. And it opened the door.
So they went and did it anyway, though. So she cleaned it up, or how did it go? Like,
yeah, for the most part, they cleaned it up, and then they bleeped out a lot because they knew the song, so they anticipated certain things. So
you know what?
You know what I'm saying? I think that was before WAP. This was this was Bodak Yellow. This was big. I like it like that. Yeah, this was at the heart of it. You know what I'm saying? They was really right on time with it. And because that went off good, they had the potential to do other stuff. And then I was approached, with the idea of, if you do a night, what would you do? And I was like, well, I wouldn't do me for an hour.
First of all, where did you get that? Because most artists would say, oh, me, I make it all about me. You stood out when you opened the doors and said, come on.
No, because look, do I have an hour's worth of music to perform? Yes, I do. Very easy. Do I have an hour worth of hits? That's respective. Right? That depends on the people in the room. Right? If I got a bunch of Bun B fans in the room, I could do an hour worth of Bun B music. The rodeo is not a room full of Bun. Even on Bun B night, it is not a room full of singular Bun B fans.
I know you know.
You know what I'm saying? There are people that come to a lot of shows and trying to find a way to enjoy a lot of shows. I want to go to Nickelback. I know a couple of records. I don't know all the Nickelback records, so that's going to be funny. My nieces want to go to Jonas Brothers. I might know one or two of them. You know what I'm saying? But if they entertain and they create the right atmosphere, I'll enjoy the experience. So that's what we thought. So I was like, if you give me a night, man, I'm going to call this dude and that dude. I'm going to call all the big people. No. I'm thinking big. I'm like, I'm going to call Lil Wayne. I'm going to call this dude and that dude. And my wife would say, we ain't got to do all that. My wife said, we ain't got to do all that. Just call people here. She said, I'm sure Houston will want to see Houston people.
Ding.
You know what I'm saying? And so we picked the starting five, right? We picked Ro and Flip and Slim and Paul, And so we picked that starting five people, and we got a really good response from it. And then we was like, ain't no women on here. We need a girl. So we got Lele. Lele was more famous than all of them. Lele is still more famous than all of them. That TV, that Nickelodeon, that's different, bro. So we knew young people would want to go. Young people go, the parents got to go.
There you go.
So then we started thinking, now who's going to be in this room? Well, I'm 50. Most people going to be between 40 and 50. All right, let's go back. Let's do something different. Let's go get H-Town.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's go. That's like the beginning of, you know what I'm saying? Let's get that because my age group is coming.
Yeah.
Right. So then we just started going and getting these guys and all of, and I didn't need a bunch of people with a bunch of hit records. I need you do that one song.
Right.
You go do that one song.
Right.
And so we envisioned H-Town, the show being like a mixtape.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To try, and for long we looked up, we had like 14 people.
Yeah.
On this show, you know, and I was like, I think we got it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what it gave me the vibes of? Like the best car show we ever had in Houston was that one where they had the H-Town one, the Los Magnificos.
Yes.
It reminded me of that. It
They were turning people away.
Yeah, it gave the same vibes where Houston got so much talent in Houston.
How much time did y'all have? Like,
now a couple of months.
no, I mean, but that.
Oh, for the night. So at the rodeo you get an hour.
Yeah.
That's
y'all
it.
get out in the hour.
We get an hour.
Well, it didn't even get a whole hour because they had the video before it.
Yeah, so you get
Yeah.
but the clock don't start. Well, no, technically the clock does start running with the video, so you do have to put that in there. To the point where I don't know if I'm even do a long video this time. I might do something a little bit short because I want to get straight to it.
Yeah.
Like this year, I got to get straight to it.
Now, can you let something out the bag? Do you know anybody that's performing so far? You can
I know everybody that's performing. I don't know. I can tell you. When does this come out?
Probably next week. No tell, no knowledge. Just hold the water. If this you give it, we don't want you to, feel the thing.
Well, here's the thing. If we control the day this come out, I can tell you on here.
That's on you.
When do you want it to come out?
I need it to come out next Saturday.
Let's do it.
Okay.
It's done.
Right.
It's done.
All right. So next Friday, because they'll know by now.
Okay.
So we got 2 short D40.
Okay.
Both cup.
That's heavy.
But I got a couple of different artists. But I feel like to who we talking to.
Yeah.
Right. 2 short D40.
Right.
Yeah, they heavy hitters too.
You know what I'm saying? But they also part of the generation.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on.
And they both underground artists.
Come on.
Yeah.
Right. They both worked it from the street up.
Yeah.
Sick with it records. You know what I'm saying?
And label mate.
Come on.
So yeah, man. But yeah, so I'm gonna touch a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You
So
know
you
what?
see, we already announced Nelly.
I didn't even know that.
Y'all didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, we announced Nelly. So Nelly was the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nelly was the first person we announced.
Yeah.
So and then now we got E40 and Too Short. So I can go anywhere
There you go.
between Nelly and Too Short and E40.
right.
I can go anywhere, and I'm going anywhere.
right,
So I'm really excited because this one.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, this is the third show. Like somebody told me, this is the Trilogy's trilogy.
Man.
All right, I get that. But honestly, I don't know how much longer this goes.
Yeah.
You know, we did the first one. We just wanted to get through that.
Yeah.
We prayed that they would call us again.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
After we did the second one, I was like, well, there's no way they won't call us again.
Yeah.
You know, but, just to be fair, I did Black Heritage Day 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And my concern was that if I stay on Black Heritage Day, there might be a possibility that there is no other black artist to book. If a black artist isn't a big pop artist, like they booked Lizzo before,
I remember that.
that was COVID. They had Khalid. These people had huge national records.
Right.
But if we don't have a black person that's got a big pop presence, we may not get another black artist on that day. So I fought to get off Black Heritage Day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so that they would be forced to book another black artist.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
what day you going?
Cheers.
I'm on the 12th. I'm on March 12th. I'm on a Tuesday during spring break, which is technically one of the slowest days they get.
And you selling out.
So and I said, give me that.
Yeah, not
Because I needed to prove that I could do what I do on every day.
Right.
That I don't need to be on the black night, on a Friday, on the weekend, when it's easy.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That I believe I can put together the kind of show that people will go on a Tuesday night knowing they got to get up Wednesday morning,
man.
going to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. You know what, man? I want to go into this real quick. Years ago, it's past, but I still want to talk about it
Because I got one too. So
it's
go ahead.
something that made me proud.
All right.
When you did the Big Pimpin song with Jay-Z, I was thinking in my mind, I said, you know what? Bun think he's slick. I say, Bun knew that Jay is gonna be on this song. So Bun went into the Bun B bag and came like, in my opinion, that representation was something that put the whole world on notice. Like all that the South ain't got no lyricists and all that was dead after that.
He
was killing on that bag.
Here's the thing, right? because this wasn't the first call. There had been a call before.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for UGK, it was for Chad.
Yeah.
They wanted Jay-Z wanted Chad on the record with him and Too Short just a week ago.
Right.
They couldn't come to terms on doing that record. The call came back around for the Big Pimpin'. By this time, Jay-Z's different.
Right.
Because Hard Knock Life is out. He's a much bigger deal at this time. And so in my mind, I'm on a record with Jay-Z. Yeah. I'm finna rap my ass.
Right.
I get to New York and I go to the office, I sit with him today, we hang out. Jay invites me to dinner, me and Jay go to dinner, we sit, we talk, we chop it up. Then we go from dinner to the studio. And Jay goes in another room with some other people. Yeah. And it's just me and Guru.
Okay.
No, his engineer, Young Guru. Jay's engineer, Young Guru. And he plays me the record. And it's a party record. It's a club record. Right. It's a girl record. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, but in my mind, I'm still finna rap my ass off.
Right.
And the original song, everybody was supposed to do their verse and their hook. Yeah. So Jay-Z had the same verse, but he also had like his hook. Yeah. And so I wrote my verse. Right. And then I did my hook, which is the hook that you hear, that's the whole record. Right. This, I do everything, because anybody knows me knows it don't take a long time either, right? So I do all of this in a matter of 45 minutes. Jay comes back in the room. He was like, where we at? And Guru's like, we just talking. He's done. He's been done. Yeah. He's like, what you mean he's done? He's like, he's done. The verse and all of that. Right. And then the hardest part of this record was convincing Pimp to even be a part of it. Yeah. But at some point, they realized that my hook worked better. Yeah. So they used my hook for the whole record. Yeah. Which was crazy, because everybody like, what do Jay-Z know about Blades or whatever? But it didn't matter. But I say all that to say, I'm rapping better on Jay-Z on that record because Jay-Z was not really concerned about rapping. On that record. He thought we were a very lighthearted group that talked about hoes and cars and shit, which, to be fair, we do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's not all we do. Right. So I don't know what his intention was with that record, with that verse or whatever, but I know what my intention was. Yeah. I had to get on there and do what I needed to do. Now, if Jay-Z calls me and says, hey, we finna do a record and we finna be some rapping motherfuckers on there, I'm not sure if that's the outcome. You know what I'm saying? But look, on anybody on any given day, OG, you know this. That's true. Anybody on any given Sunday. That's true. Any given Sunday. That ain't no lie. Any given Sunday. I just seen some cold niggas get towed up in a freestyle they just wasn't ready for.
Let me tell you. Look, I'm on a bunch of I'm on a bunch of features where there's other guys that was way harder than me on, like, okay, he ate that.
And you know, now here's my story. I want to tell the story before we get out of here. I want to tell the story. 1991. We rap. I'm very early in my rap career. Ghetto Boys are on a concert in Beaumont at a skate rink called Connection.
I'm on Connection.
Somebody else came with Scarface to Connection that day. We a bunch of little young high school niggas rapping in the bathroom. Okay. Rapping in the bathroom. And I don't know if the man came in the bathroom to rap or to use the bathroom, but he seen us in there rapping. It's K-Rino. And we all look up when we recognize nigga from standing. That's the nigga standing in front of Timmy Chan. That's the nigga standing in front of Timmy Chan on the outcome. And the man said 16 bars in that bathroom that made everybody in that bathroom. First of all, wasn't no rapping after that. Wasn't no rapping after that. That was the end of everything. But niggas had to really, really evaluate
where they was at.
If you really trying to do this, you got to actually. You don't have to go where he at. He just came where we was and ate, nigga. The buffet is clear. There's no, it was enough food in here for everybody.
I love when they do that.
It was enough food in here for everybody. There's nothing left now. Left now. And I was like, man, I don't know, but if I ever walk in a room and just rap and leave like that, not even, the nigga ain't even had to check the temperature. It wasn't even like waiting for somebody to respond, because it was evident. It was some of the most inspiring shit I ever seen in my life. I actually really saw, you was the first rapper I ever saw that had a record rap in front of me.
Wow.
And I was blown away. I was like, whenever you rap in front of niggas, you gotta be so cold.
Yeah.
And when you walk in that hole, you don't even ask who just rapped.
Man.
You just start motherfucking rapping.
Yeah.
Know that you better than every nigga in that room and leave. But if somebody want to try, you got way more on deck. Because you really hitting them with the light work. Right? You really hitting them with the light work. Just so y'all know I'm here. You know, just so you know I'm here. Now, if I need to stay here a minute, but it was evident nobody wanted no song.
I always sing clips to K when you always, almost all the time you go everywhere and say my favorite rapper is K-Rino. And I always send him that.
He should be. Yeah. If you're really about rapping, he should be. Yeah. Because nobody has really performed longer representing the essence of what this culture represents and better than K-Rino has. And it's just that simple. We have no better representation of what hip-hop is supposed to be from any city than with K-Rino. We don't. Wow. And there's a lot of people that are highly regarded in this city. Yeah. But we all know, we all defer. We all defer. It's not even that, because we all been here long enough to know. Wow. Face been here long enough to know. Will been here long enough to know. Romeo Poet, R.P. Cola, we all been here long enough to know. Yeah. No. That's why only one person rapped that.
I'm gonna sum mine up a little different. Go for it. Houston is G'd up from the start. Everybody hanging out Sunday in McGregor Park. Houston is third ward to the SWAT. 14 and a half mixtape by Darryl Scott. Houston is keeping bread in your pocket. Riding with the home team, Astros, Oilers, and Rockets. Home of the soldiers. So it ain't no folding. Legendary 34s, Akeem Earl and Nolan. Jumping out at the club sharp as an arrow. Rhinestone Wrangler, Chocolate Town and Carol's. Coke cans to get in Astroworld, no ticket. And you ain't from H-Town if you don't know Wicked Cricket. I'm paying homage because it's only right for me to do. French's chicken on Scott, we do it for TSU. From the past to the present, shouting out to the great. Still love Phi Slammer Jammer, repping U of H. Who remember Club Boomerang? Now I'm reminiscing. Killing shows with the whole South Park coalition. Jay Prince had the vision, so he started believing. Ghetto boys made the whole world respect our region. Most city to fifth ward, yeah, I know you loving this. Street military, please, can I have another hit? Got our own style, ain't no place like it in the world. And the whole planet got screwed up by Robert Earl. Crazy weather, but still better than any place we know. Shout out to my Mexican family, my Latinos. We the trendsetters, we stay ahead of the game. Hiram Clark got way too many legends to name. Most of the year, H-Town be hotter than the oven. Remember the screw shop back when it was on cut? Great tapes in the screwed up click wrecking them beats. Kids Jam was the first radio station for the streets. You could pick any record label, it's all H-Town. Rap a lot, Swisher House, Big Time and Jam Down. Dope House, Sucker Free, the homies in Rec Shop. Perion's, Wild House, Straight Profit and Shortstop. Hey, Houston is Greens Point, the Acres home. Playing high school football games inside the dome. Slabs with trunks rattling, folks chasing the paper. Club Gucci's all the way to Jamaica, Jamaica. Going to different parks, hooping, Timmy Chan after. Back in the days, loading up and riding to the Capitol. Still laughing and ranking even on our down days. Buying your favorite rapper's new album from Sound Waves. Catching the metro to travel throughout the town. We couldn't afford the Galleria, we just went to walk around. When the bus stopped rolling at dark, we used to walk. Let's take it to the north, Studewood and Dewson Park. Mr. A's, the Sean's, Cornbreads came later. Every rapper trying to be seen on Street Flavor. Every hood apartment complex I showed up in. Houston taught me the game when I didn't know nothing. That's what Houston is to me. Let's get it, K-Rino. Y'all gonna hear a lot about a lot of Houston rappers over these next hours that we talked in this room, but make no mistake about it, there's never been pound for pound, ball for ball, verse for verse, a better MC from this city than the man you just heard from. I couldn't think of a more succinct way to wrap up Houston, Texas in a rhyme. And Face, you gotta come after that.
I remember.
Who finna rap after that? What is there to say? What could you possibly say about Houston that wasn't just said?
How much K gave you to say?
Can we change the subject?
No, look, it's important. It's important, man. It's important to say these things, man. It's important to say these things because people go out of their way to make sure they give me my flowers, they give me my card, and that's cool. But everybody starts from something.
Yeah.
And this city, really, how we chose to present ourselves to the world, which is exactly what we talking about on Big Pimpin'. We don't get to that if it's not the K-Rinos of the world saying, if you're going to, at the very least, and you can make them records, go do them records, go get that money, all that. But at the very least, one of them, see, this is the era where you knew at some point you ain't finna have to rap against a New York nigga.
Exactly.
Just being real.
Yeah.
Just being real. At some point, you go all that shit you doing at school, in the courtyard, at McDonald's, and football games and shit. That's cool. But if you're really trying to do this, you're gonna have to rap against somebody that come from where it started.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you better be prepared, or you're not just gonna embarrass yourself.
Come on, man.
You're gonna embarrass all of
You
us.
got the whole region on you.
You're gonna embarrass all of us.
Yeah.
So, and it's a lot easier now for artists because the originator said, if you're going to do it, you must do it like this, or you're not finna get out of it what you want. That, which is the respect. There was no money when we started doing it. There was no millions of dollars. Even Jay was making some money, but nobody was millionaires from rap music. So at the very least, you wanted to respect your peers. And I remember I met Bismarcky and tried to tell Bismarcky who I was, and Bismarcky already knew who I was.
Wow. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Met Big Daddy Kane, tried to tell Big Daddy Kane who I was, and Big Daddy Kane was like, not only do I know you were, this is my son. He thinks Pimp C is the greatest thing on earth. And then Pimp is spending the next 10 minutes talking to Kane's son about who his daddy is, because he's too young to have seen it.
Wow, man.
He's too young to have seen it.
Love that.
You know what I'm saying? That's really, at the very least, what this shit should be and feel like. Because we're not all going to be the richest. I make good money. But Jermaine Dupri, the same age as me. We are not in the same tax bracket. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't tell me that I'm doing something wrong. Right? That just means that that's what he's there for and this is what I'm there for. But I can say I can aspire to do as many things because he's a producer, he's a writer, right? He's an executive producer, he runs a record company, he owns a studio, he employs black people. Okay, I can't make those records, but I can employ black people, right? I can own a business, right? You know, I can do those things. So it's not about counting people dollars. It's not trying to replicate what other people do. It's about watching people who you believe are doing great things and see if there's any pathway from where you are to at least one facet of that greatness. And if you can make it there, now that I'm successful as an artist, now I understand the business, now I can set myself up better for business. I can bring in other people that can facilitate to help us make more money with this business, right? You know what I'm saying? We're leading by example. And then hopefully other dudes will see this prototype, this blueprint, run with it, but understand it better because it's a digital age, it's an information age. Understand it better than me, be able to take more advantage of me. Just give me credit. Or don't. Or don't. You know? You know, just go out there and do something that benefits all of us.
Great segue. When we was walking in, I said, Bun, what you been up to? You said, man, I feel like my life is a hamburger.
Name Bun.
It would be just right? Man, real quick, tell us how the Trill Burger phenomenon kicked off, man.
This is
that's beautiful.
This is God's work, right? Like this was not me in the backyard cooking up a hamburger at family reunions during football games. And somebody like, man, that's a good burger. You ought to try some. But none of that, man. I can't cook. I can, but this ain't my burger. This burger was brought to me by a friend of mine, Andy Wynn, who was already in the business, and another friend of mine, Nick Skirfield, who I knew. So Nick knew both Andy and me. Andy told Nick, I got this burger I'm trying to do, but Andy's from California. He's like, but I need to do it in Texas because it's already, Smash Burger's already jumping in California. It's already jumping in Nevada and it's about to start jumping in Oklahoma. If I don't catch it in Texas, the whole trend gonna go and I'll miss it. So Nick was like, well, you know, Bun got a food blog. Bun been looking for something to do in the food industry. Let's see if he want to be a part of it. They called me over. I ate it. And the burger had pickles and onions on it, which I don't like neither one. But I said, I need to know what this burger tastes like. And I wasn't mad at the onions. I understood now, because it's not hard onions, not dry onions, it's caramelized. So it's a different texture, which was my problem with onions is the texture. Yeah. And then pickles with just the sour. I don't like pickles.
You eat pickles, you are evil.
But it's a balance of flavors. So when you get some of the onion, some of the cheese, some of the beef, some of the pickle, some of the sauce, and then the bun, when all that come together, it's an amazing flavor. Right? And it's about the combination of flavors. I say, man, this is the best burger I ever had in my life. And I can't stand no motherfucking onions and pickles. I was like, this the burger? They was like, we're still doing a little bit more work on it. We're going to come back in 2 weeks. When I came back in 2 weeks and I tried, I say, not only is this the best burger I ever had, this is some of the best food I've ever eaten. My only thing was, how quick can we get this in front of people and see if it's just me? You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just me that think this whole good. So I host this food, the food awards, the biggest food awards called Tastemaker Awards in Houston every year. I come up and I host and I present the awards and all of that stuff. And they would pay me. I said, this year, I said, I don't want no money. I said, can I get a booth? I said, because I got a product. I don't want no money. I said, but this is the biggest awards. All the food writers, all the food bloggers, all the top owners, restaurant, everybody that's anybody in food and beverage is going to be in this room. Let's put the food in front of them. We end up having the longest line in the whole place. And this is with the best chefs, people who like Aaron Bludon, who's a good friend of mine, who it take a month or something to try to get a table in these restaurants. And everybody's like, man, this is like, I mean, the number one food, number two, I'll say, he's a good friend of mine, he's number two, technically. He's like, this is an amazing product. I said, okay, now let's get it to the people. So a week after that, we did the first pop-up. And we'll get a line of people, because I got love in this city. You know what I'm saying? I got love in this city, so people was willing to come and give it a try. You know, it was Houston summer day, it was hot as hell. You know what I'm saying? They're outside in line, so I spent the whole time getting people cold water, ice water, make sure people was okay, bringing in older people, letting them sit down. If people had babies, bringing them in, let them sit down, all of this during the pop-up. And I invited my granddaughter, who's one of my biggest critics. She's a little chef in her own right. And she came with her mom and her aunts and her cousins, and everybody came and they ate the burger, and everybody was like, Uncle Bun. And my niece was like, Uncle Bun, this burger's amazing. And my granddaughter, who is very, very, like, very hard to please, and it's very indifferent. She's like, yeah, okay. She's like, Papa, it's a good burger.
That's home.
And now my granddaughter works at Trill Burgers. My nieces work at Trill Burgers now.
The rodeo line at Trill Burgers was crazy.
The more we presented, the more people wanted, because people have had it enough to know now, whether I get it at a pop-up, whether I get it at the rodeo, whether I get it at the stove, this burger tastes the same.
Oh, man.
This burger tastes the same. So now it's like, wherever the burger's at, I'm going to eat it. Now we in the football stadium. Now we in the soccer stadium.
Look at that.
We're probably going to be in the Astros stadium this upcoming season. It's going to take us a while, so we probably won't be till later in the season. But I mean, just because we got a real product, I'm not trying to hype nobody. If it was hype, the shit would be over.
It'd have been gone.
It'd be done by now. But I'm not trying to. This burger is meant to be something big to last long. That the family gets to be a part of it. With the music, you had to have a skill set or a talent to be a part of it. But with this, you just gotta want a job. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta want to have a job. My granddaughter works sell merch. My nieces work at the register. And this is my nieces are older. They're in college. So when they home on the weekend, they come work at Trill Burgers. When they home for schools out during the holidays, they come work at Trill Burgers.
Do you still do Trill Tacos?
No, so Trill Tacos wasn't my company. That wasn't my company. That was a company, a brother I met, and he had the concept, and I didn't have a reason to be against it or knock it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was bigger than just being Trill. It was something that was dedicated to Houston, so all the tacos were named after different artists and things in Houston. And I thought it was a cool thing, and it wasn't nothing that was disrupting it. I wasn't even in the food business at that time, so I didn't have a problem with it at all. And we supported it. I did a pop-up. We did T-shirts over there. I did what I could to help him, but it's very hard with a new business. As much success as people see us with, man, we put out fires every day. You know what I'm saying? We put out fires every day. Just today, as we recording this podcast, the power went out on the block.
Wow.
There's nothing I can do about that. So you just kind of have to deal with these things as they go. So it's a business, and no business runs smooth 100% of the time.
Right.
But a lot of problems that new businesses having, like getting people in the door.
Yeah.
I'm blessed that we don't have that problem.
Yeah.
But that's because this burger not only has, it's a great product, but I done put 30 plus years of blood, sweat, and tear equity into this. This burger you can't separate it from me now.
Yeah.
This burger, everything that I am, this burger now represents.
Right.
Yeah.
So I looked at it when I first started hustling. I said, this is my album.
Yeah, right.
This burger is my album.
Come on, man.
I said, so we're going to go on promo.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to cost us to get in the van, go on the road,
Right.
get in the hotel.
Right.
We're going on promo.
Yeah.
It's going to cost us to go on promo. You know what I'm saying? But then, when we want to go on Good Morning America, that's like Best New Artist Grammy.
Right, exactly. Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, you got to pay me.
Yeah.
Now we on tour.
Yeah.
So now you got to pay me for the burger to come.
Come on, man.
And it's not about giving me money, it's about incentives because you got to get permits, you got to get license, you got to rent the equipment for when I do these things out of town. But if a festival won't us bad enough, hey man, we're going to get the equipment.
Right.
Yeah.
We not going to, in most festivals, like when I do Coachella take 30% of the money.
Yeah.
Because they give you hundreds of thousands of people to feed in 2 weeks.
Right.
I get it. It's not a problem.
Okay.
But Coachella don't need me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some of these younger, newer festivals might need me. So when we go to Rolling Loud was like, and when I call Rolling Loud, see, this is how the world works. I call Rolling Loud, they thought I was trying to get booked.
Yeah.
Right? So we set up a whole conference call. They're like, OG, we love you. We respect everything you do. We understand your legacy. But the way we book Rolling Loud is a little different. I said, whoa. I said, I'm not trying to rap.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Yeah.
No, I want to bring the burgers.
Yeah.
Oh, what you want to do? Where you want to go?
Right.
Guys, let's send them the map. Matter of fact, can we put it on the
Yeah,
screen?
yeah.
So here's the map. Here's where we are. I think you guys work really good here.
Yeah.
But if you go here, I can get the sponsor to give you
Yeah.
guys somebody you like.
Look at God.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, put me where you want to put me.
Yeah.
You know, put me where you want to put me. I get the people. If I build it, they'll come.
Yeah.
And it worked out. So we've been really blessed with this company now. Sometimes we go to a festival. The first year we went to Coachella, we make no money.
Yeah.
But it wasn't about making money. We broke even. That's all I care about.
Right.
I just want to break even.
Don't want to lose, man.
No, I don't want to lose no money. I want to make enough money to pay for my team, right? Cover expenses. But I can get what I need to get out of it if I can get artists to eat it on camera.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I can get a value out of that
Yeah.
through social media
Right.
and marketing and
Right,
branding.
right.
So, but now we get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
We get to go somewhere like we do. We do Reggie Jackson tournament every year. It's very easy for us to do, very easy for us to facilitate, and then we got Roger Clemens eating a Trill Burger. I don't know nobody know Roger Clemens like that to get him to come to the stove. So we bring the burger out to the world because everybody can't make it to Houston right now.
Right.
So I try to consistently bring the burger to the world. Now, I done brought it to the music world.
Yeah.
So now we're trying to bring it to the athletic world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sports fans.
Okay.
Because sports fans are extremely loyal.
Right.
So if you love the Texans, you're going to come to Texas game. Now they associate the Texans game with the Trill Burgers.
I was about to say,
Same thing with the rodeo. They come to the rodeo. They love the rodeo. Now they know Trill Burgers going to be at the rodeo.
Yeah.
So they associate it. Everybody to me, y'all going to have them at the rodeo, right? I see people on the street. Y'all going to have the burgers at the rodeo. Okay, cool. Because I can't make it. I'll go over there. The line too long.
Yeah.
But we're going to the rodeo. We're going to go a couple of nights. So I'm like, yeah, you'll be fine.
I think now too, Trill Burger is one of the stops that people make
Yeah.
do come.
Yeah,
I've seen all kinds of. I've seen Mike Tyson and all these different people that actually come to the
Because
physical
people
location.
really want to know if it's real.
Yeah.
First of all, we're a cultural cue point, right? Like if you want to do a one-stop shop for all things Houston culture, you either come to Trill Burgers or the Screw Shop.
Come on.
That's it.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Come
It's
on,
us and the Screw Shop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's where you're at. And the good thing is you can do both in the same day.
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's also, you come in, it look Trill.
Yeah.
You see Pimp C, the first thing you said, Pimp C. You see a slab mural on the wall.
See that
You
yellow
hear the
flag.
music playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the food is good too. The
Yeah.
food is good too. And we understand we're an experience-based brand. So while we still a smaller company, when I'm in town, I go by.
Yeah.
I'll probably go by. I couldn't go on the way because I had some stuff to do at the house this morning. But I'll probably leave here and I'll probably go by.
Yeah.
Check on the team, show my face.
Yeah.
Every time I ever go, people are like, man, we was hoping we'd see you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know it's a big part.
It's a morale booster.
Yeah,
man.
people come from,
Yeah.
people come from, man, we from St. Louis, we from
Yeah.
Oklahoma, we
Oh,
came
man,
all the way
that's
here to see
great.
that. I had to come see my sister this week and I said, I gotta get this burger.
Yeah.
And we was hoping we would see
Man,
you. You know what I'm saying?
That gotta be beautiful.
And they stand in line all
They
around
gotta
down
be
the street, man.
Oh,
Yeah. It's amazing how you do that. I think one thing you did with Trill Burger, you broke that concept that black people don't support each other, because they standing in the line all around in the hottest part of the sun, and we genuinely want to see you win with this establishment. Even I made my wife and us go over there and we said, man, we're gonna get as much burgers we can get.
people come stand in line. Right? In Houston, it's either hot or cold, take your pick. Hot, cold, or rainy, take your pick. Might get all three in one day in this bitch. But they, whatever the elements is, they gonna suffer the elements. They come in, they spend their money on the food. Some people buy merchandise. And then they'll walk up to me and they'll say, thank you. Y'all just spent $80 with me.
Right.
Not for food. We don't charge that much for food. You know what I'm saying? They come and get, family of 3, 4, come in, get a couple of combos, buy a t-shirt and a hat. You know what I'm saying? That'd be roughly about $80 or something. And then they thank me. You just spent money with me. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, and then like even with my staff, we take, we accept tips for the staff. People tip the staff like they tipping me, like, like it's, when they leave money, it's like, man, we just want to show you love, OG, Man, I'm all about customer service. I thank everybody. I take every picture. If somebody's birthday and I'm there, I typically will give somebody a hat or a shirt for their birthday. We love the kids. You know what I'm saying? That's why we try not to play cursing music in there. That's why we don't sell beer or liquor. We could if we wanted to, but it's a family environment. I don't want nobody sitting in there drinking beers and whatever, acting a certain way. I want families to feel comfortable bringing their children, you know what I'm saying? We want to add ice cream, but man, I just don't want that sticky ice cream all over. But I really want to be able to give kids a free ice cream cone. I know a couple of places that do that. I think that's an amazing thing to do. So I'm just going to have somebody on ice cream duty that just, every time a kid get a cone, keep your eyes on that table, because you have to wipe that up, and we're going to have to get that flow too, because that ice cream going to get sticky. I don't want that sticking on people's tennis shoes, squeaking in my stomach. But we think about the little things, man. We think about the little things, and when we do that, man, the big things all come together. And I'm a blessed man. This city has given me a legendary hip-hop career. It made me an icon in this city. And now they're helping me build a brand that could one day be all over the country, just the way the music is appreciated all over the country.
I think you're an icon beyond Houston, internationally, because your intelligence, your articulation, your understanding of the culture has transcended just this area, just this region. I always call you, I was like the ambassador, you know what I mean? Because it's like, because you represent us on an international scale in a way that I don't think no one else would be able to. In terms of when you go to these different regions, I watch you educate these different people who interview you, whether they be from New York or they be from California, and you give them a clear understanding on what we are about down here. And I always see the light come on in their head when they talk to me, like, okay, because he articulates this in a way that makes them get it. For those who may have had misconceptions about Houston, they're like, no. And Bun check you and correct you in other states. He don't do that. And he don't play around like that. Like,
it's important because I understand that we see in a certain way down here. Right? It's not for me to go around and say that's not who we are. Right. That is who we are. Right. The problem is, the conception is that that's all that we are. Come on. I am everything that you see Pimp C. I'm everything that he is. And he is everything that I am. So just because we prefer slow doesn't mean we are slow and that we can't move fast.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing. Just because we talk slow, we talk like this because we want to, not because we have to. This is how we choose to communicate. You know what I'm saying? This is how we choose to share our culture. This is how we choose to present ourselves. But don't be mistaken. This is not just who I am. If I want to talk some shit, you want talk shit to somebody from the South. Niggas gonna get fast. Bitch, I think what you want to do? You know what I'm saying? It's finna get fast quick. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get fast quick. Bitch, I think what you want to do? What to do, nigga? You catch a slap, bitch. You know, it's gonna get fast quick, bro. Fuck with my people. Yeah, I'm on the slab. I'm driving 20. You know, fuck with my people. I'm finna hit the gas. I'm finna pull up. You know, this is how we choose to live because our lifestyle doesn't necessitate to need to do all that. Y'all live in New York where you got to move fast, aggressively just to get to the next corner. Just driving down the goddamn street. You know, now when y'all get home in a relaxed environment, y'all probably slow things down. Drink a glass of wine. You know, play some relaxing music. That's how you unwind. Our whole day is unwinding, my nigga. Don't get mad at me. I don't move fast in the South because I can't. Because I typically don't have to.
Exactly. Comfortable.
You know, I got time. I'm not. It don't take me an hour to drive three miles through Manhattan. You know what I'm saying?
It's more ramped up.
Yeah. You know, so we're afforded the opportunity to move slower by choice. You do the conditions, but don't try it.
Come on,
don't try it.
I saw it.
Don't try it. Cause we will.
I'll be pumping at the computer.
We about that action. Man, thank y'all, man, really for inviting me on.
Without a doubt, man. We appreciate your time.
I told my wife, I say this get to be a different conversation. I say because a lot of what we gonna talk about is. Like, we don't have to have a conversation for young people to understand what we're doing. This is really more education, for education purposes than anything else. So I don't have to talk about what I'm working on, or who do I like right now. We can do all of that, by the way. I love Bodie James. He's amazing. But now, like, this is just about really coming on here, talking about doing this thing that we really, really love. Because there's so many different reasons to rap now. But there was only one reason to rap when we came back, and that was because you actually loved what you saw and you wanted to be a part of it. Now, I imagine for young people, what they see, they want to be a part of it too. They see in a different aspect of it because this game has been conquered now. So we knew coming in that, you know, the odds was against us, you know, culturally, regionally, right? Not just, but now for them, their problem is it's a numbers game. See, when I first started rapping, and you can speak to this, and we'll make it very quick. It might have been, I tell people, when UGK came out, it might have been 10 people from Houston, right, actually making music for sale.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Not everybody.
I go to Trill Burgers on any given day and walk in and there's 10 rappers in there eating lunch. You know?
I was rapping now.
The way I say it now is that it ain't about who is rapping, it's about who ain't rapping. It's easier to find who ain't rapping now than it is to find who is, you know. So it's just the way the world and the game has advanced where people do see opportunities to make so much money. It's like, I got to get in there. Whether I'm good at it, or
and I'm not mad at it.
I ain't mad at it.
I ain't mad at it. Because the thing is, people get mad when, and I want to end on this. I know a lot of people, not just specifically from my age group, but throughout the entirety of me being a part of this culture. There have always been people that the practitioners of this art have looked at and wondered, how did this motherfucker make it? I've been here long enough to realize there's a few people that got lucky. There's a couple of people got lucky, and the lucky ones didn't really last long. But when the people that you look at, you be like, I don't understand how this person, they working their ass off. You just don't see it. Somebody in that team is working their ass off. So if you want to go further than people that you think you have more talent than, you got to work harder than them too. It ain't just the talent. I know a lot of talented rappers that thought they was nice and just sitting on the sofa and wait for somebody to knock on their door and give them a bag of money. Ed McMahon is dead and gone. Rest in peace. They're not bringing no clearinghouse, just clearinghouse checks to the house. Nobody's finna knock on your door and make you a millionaire in the start. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. You got to get out here and work for it and work harder than people that got less talent than you, that look better than you. Ladies, somebody that's cuter than you and finer than you, you got to work hard if you want this. Really, anything in life, you got to work hard if you want this. Because some people, you're going to look at some people and be like, man, they had it, they had this and that. If you really go deep, because I hear this all the time about Soulja Boy, and I remember when them niggas worked their ass off. Cardi B worked her ass off. Before them people made their money, man, them people did hole in the wall. Them people did open mics and shit like that. Performed in pool halls and strip clubs and comedy shows and wherever somebody would give them some time, man. And the people that work ethic catches up with you. It's a lot it's a lot easier to teach you how to make a hit record than it is to teach you how to work hard.
Come on, man.
I can teach you how to make a record. I can put the right producer. I can get the right writer. All of that. All I need you to do is do the hard work that come with working that motherfucking record.
Come on.
Because making a hit record is just a start. Somebody somewhere, whether it's in the office, whether it's your manager, somebody got to be working their ass off to make that shit happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the harder you work, the less you got to pay people to do work for you, and the less credit you got to give a motherfucker. So.
And that's why podcasts like this are so important, man. Because you're getting it from the greats. K-Rino and Bun B, y'all have sort of the same traits when it comes to just dealing with the fans, that humbleness, but that greatness at the end.
Look, here's the thing. The transition, you can be underground, and you can stay underground and have a fruitful life and be satisfied. Because you keep control. And so at certain points, you got to realize, do you want to have money or do you want to be famous? You know what I'm saying? And which one of those are you comfortable sleeping with at night? Because the richer you get, the poorer somebody else get. You cannot become a billionaire without destroying families. Families.
Wow.
You got it. I mean, you can't just, and when they say there's enough money out here for everybody, not for some people. Some people want it all. Some people want it all, and they'll do whatever it takes to get what you got. So when you enter this space, know that wolves is there. God will not be in the room you walk in. You better be in. My pastor told me, God will probably, because of what you do, God will probably not be in the room you walk in, so you better bring him with your ass every day. Come on. But you got to bring him with you. That ass, he didn't say ass out. But if you got to bring him in the room with you every day, because it's a den of thieves. Wow. It's a lion's den. It's a pit of snakes, vipers, whatever you want to call it. All day, every day. And they're waiting for your friendly ass. Come on. They're waiting for your friendly ass.
Hey, man, that's what it is, man.
I had one last question.
Well, go ahead.
One last question.
My wife waiting, though.
Okay, cool. When you back in the game, were you like real skinny? Like, cause where did the name Pee Wee come from? And how did you get
it? It was an oxymoron. Calling me Big Pee Wee is an oxymoron. There's no such thing as exactly. So Pee Wee came from, because I used to be, man, when we first started, bro. I mean, when I graduated, I was about 280. And
was bigger back then.
And then when we first was making this music in that first year, hanging with Big Russ, because we was late night people, man. You know, we had a lot of, before we even started the music, you know, to get the money, we did a lot of different things, and it was a late night life. You know, we eat Waffle House and House of Pies and shit like that. And then when you rap and you late night, you rap it at 2 a.m, you try to get something to eat at 2, 3 in the morning. Ain't nothing healthy, even if you wanted something healthy. So it's fast food and all that. I looked up and I was like 340 pounds. You know, I'm like, this shit ain't gonna work. So I kind of got back to 280. I sat at 280 for probably about 15, 16 years. Got down to about 240. About 5 years ago. Stayed there for a minute, thought I was doing good, but then I started seeing clothes niggas was wearing and I couldn't fit it. I'm like, I've got money, I want to be clean. But Gucci only goes so far. So I got that. So right now I'm at like 225, man. I think I'm at a good weight. Weight wise, I just want to, if I lose any more weight, I got to replace it with muscle. I'm just an old saggy nigga. You know what I'm saying? But I'm blessed, man. I feel like I'm at the perfect health to be able to do all the running around people see me do. Because to make this thing work, I cannot do it at home. I can't sit at home. Hard work pays off. And if I can do it at 50, you 20-something year old niggas ain't got no excuse.
No excuse, man. The great Bun B, man, we appreciate you, brother, for all you do and for taking time out to come and sit with us, man. Much love. Continue to support this brother because he's a treasure, and our culture would not be what it is if this man had not been born. And you can take that to the bank, man. So we appreciate you a lot. Underground Dialogue Podcast. It's your big brother K-Rino.
And your boy Keystone.
The name speaks for itself, man. Blessings, peace, and hair grease.
You know, this nigga did all he could do to keep me in school. And while he was there, I was all right. It's when he graduated and left me, and then I was there by myself that I was on some fuck school shit. This nigga steady hitting my beeper and calling me like, "You went to school today?" And I'm like, "Hell nah, nigga, I fuck school." He in Houston, I'm like, "Nigga, you ain't here now, fuck this shit." You know what I mean? But I said that to say this, that while I was gone, I did get my GED, and I did that.
What's up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino, and check this out, man. The Underground Dialogue podcast is offering advertising opportunities, man. You can promote your business, you can promote your video, your song, whatever it is that you have, man. Reach out to us if you're interested in promoting on the Underground Dialogue podcast. All you gotta do is email us at undergrounddialoguepodcast@gmail.com. Get it. And man, look, we got some merch that's just gonna blow y'all mind. It's gonna blow y'all. When y'all see the merch, y'all gonna be wanting to just dive through the screen.
We got some coming for you, man. We building, man. We building. So watch that thing grow.
Already.
I wonder if they ready. They ain't ready to have this conversation. Or these kind of conversations. But guess what? We gonna have them anyway. Underground dialogue. We gon' tell the truth. We ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are. Do we bow? No, not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. Underground dialogue. We gon' tell the truth. We ain't scared like a lot of y'all. Matters who they are. Do we bow? No, not at all. Dropping bombs on this wicked world, so it gotta fall. From the industry to the Oval Office, we expose the darkest motives of them all and disclose what the protocol is. Thinking and moving logical, stopping every maneuver possible, and apologizing for truth is not optional. We gon' help you with what you go through, reshape and mold you, and sweep over them weak lies they told you. If you living with no clue, we gon' deprogram the old you, and you get to keep your soul too.